other stuff that usually happens. So, welcome to the call, everybody. We're going to get started. My name is Tim Down. I'm with the House of Yah. So we're glad to have you guys here on the call. Tonight we're going to be talking about some important stuff. We're going to be talking about what to do when you wake up. Yes, I'm talking about you guys. You guys that woke up out there and figured out everything they told us in school wasn't true. I'm talking to you guys. And for the rest of y'all, come back to sleep. This isn't your fault. We're going to be talking about it here in just a little bit. Natasha's going to be joining us. Man, I cannot wait to have you guys on the call. We're going to be going through the thick, the thin. Man, can you tell you, I have been round and round and round on this topic. We're going to be talking about it tonight. So welcome to the call, everybody. So glad you guys made it. Way too much light up here. That's right. And once again, we're going to cite the fair use rule, so there'll be no copyright infringements tonight. I've learned a lot about the fair use rule. It's a good thing to cite. Anyway, welcome to the call, everybody. We're going to get started in just a little tiny bit. So welcome. All right, we're going to get started. We're going to wait about 10 minutes or so. And we're going to get started in just a little bit. Welcome to the call, everybody. Welcome to the call. So glad you guys are here. I'm going to jump out for just a minute so you guys enjoy the music. And to give credit where credit is due, this is the Scorpions are playing tonight. Definitely highlighting the Scorpions on tonight's call. This album's called Humanity. And it's relevant to people that are waking up right now. I thought it'd be a good choice. Anyway, we're going to get started in just a little bit. Thank you guys for joining us. Yeah, welcome to the call, everybody. Welcome to the call. We're going to get started shortly. Thank you guys for being patient out there. Appreciate it. I'm going to send a message to Natasha here.
And I don't mean to hurt your pride, but everybody needs a friend sometimes to make you see the light in the game of life.
All right, we're catching on, man. Welcome to the call. Glad you made it tonight, Sean. We're going to have a really great call tonight. I'm super excited. We jumped on a little bit early. I'm trying to send a message over to Natasha so she's got the proper... Okay. Guess not. Let's try that again. Make sure she's got the right address. Keep in mind. And welcome to the call, everybody. Tonight, we're going to have a very unique call tonight. We're going to be talking about what to do when you wake up. What do you do when you figure out all this stuff? How do you come back from all this? Tonight, we're going to be talking about that tonight. And the stuff's going to blow your mind. It's heavy. And for those of you guys that are like, oh, well, you know, that sounds like a bunch of sovereign citizen stuff and things like that. You know what? It's not, but just keep flipping. And those of you guys looking for the Sovereign Citizen channel, this is not it. Just going to let y'all know that now. Oh, man. But, you know, and I say that because we seek truth, and we really want to have truth here. So, I guess someone from France sent us a message over here on YouTube, and it wasn't audible. It completely threw the AI off. But anyway, no big deal tonight. We're going to be going through it. We're going to be having a great call tonight. We're going to be talking about what to do when you wake up. I mean, what do you do when you figure out this stuff isn't right? Where do you start? Well, we got people on tonight's call that have actually been there. Hold on a second. Oops. That have actually been there and come back from all of this. And so it won't be just me talking about this stuff. We're going to be throwing this stuff around to everybody. And, and you'll kind of get an idea what some of these growing pains are. And it'll help you get to where you want to be. That's the most important thing. So if you guys have questions, those of you guys down here that are logging on, that are coming in on YouTube and coming in on Facebook, if you guys have questions, okay, there's two ways you can do it. You can load your question down there. You guys want to, and I see you guys are doing it. So, hey, man, how are you? Thank y'all. I see your questions. I see your hellos. Thank you. Welcome to the call tonight. You guys, if you guys have questions, you can put them down there at the bottom, and for the rest of you guys, you can join us here on our conference board. We've got a really good conference board, very strong internet. Everything's good, very clean, very clear. And tonight, it's going to be an amazing call because we're going to answer questions, okay? We're not going to be holding back anything. So if you guys ask the question and ask me from here to wherever, you just might get the answer. Yeah. So anyway, tonight, that's going to be one of our focuses tonight. I'm super excited about this. We've been working so hard on trying to get the class situation. And tonight, I'm going to actually go through the new class breakdown. It's not even on the page yet. But I'm going to go through the class breakdown and how it'll kind of work. And then that way, those of you guys that have different budgets for this sorts of things, and everybody does, you know what I mean? It'll make it affordable. And more importantly, it'll make it doable. Okay. Once any of you guys come into this little family of ours, we take care of each other here. We help each other out. Sean, we just had welcome to the call, Sean. We had a student, I had a student that I had been ministering for the last 8 years. And I say ministering, in other words, I've been helping them through this process. But this person was in prison. Yeah. And I mean, and I don't have a whole list of people that I talked to in prison, trust me. But I knew this guy when he was on probation and they violated his he was on parole and they violated his parole. So I knew him when he was on parole, and he's a really decent guy. He got to know who Yahweh is. He serves him. He's decent. He's the real deal. And some things went crazy with his probation, and they violated him, and he ended up going back to prison for 8 years. And for the last 8 years, we've been ministering. I've been helping him and things like that. That's what we've been doing. And he got out last couple of weeks ago. He got out, called me. I said, "Oh, wow, it's awesome. I'm really glad you're there." He's in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Our vice president, Juan, is in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We were able to get him. As a matter of fact, it was during one of my classes. And I almost just lost it. It was awesome. He was about to go to his first Shabbat here, meeting, is his first Friday out free. And he's paid his debt to society. So that's it. And so now he's got to start over. And so this was his first Shabbat, and all he had was like a pair of shorts. He really didn't have anything. And we were able to get him clothes. We were able to get him toiletries, outside, inside clothes, if you guys know what I mean, underwear and things like that, stuff guys need so he can go to work, some work shoes, stuff like that. I got all of his sizes, got everything. Juan was at the store within 12 hours of our phone call, calls me in the middle of the class and is like, "Hey, I just want to tell you, here's the picture here." He's a video call and he's all telling me what he's doing. But that's what we do. And that's what we do for our people. 2 years ago, I had a student in Washington State. He had terminal cancer. One of my other students lived about 3 hours from him, hopped in the car, never met him before, but we have this common relationship, see? And this relationship is it's this teaching. And because those of you guys that have taken these classes, we're here to help you. And, one of my students got in his car, drove 3 hours, spent all day with him, and he was by himself. He didn't have anybody to be there with him. And spent all day with him, fed him, brought him some edibles and things because, for his cancer and so forth. So, and made things a lot easier for him, and just made his day. And then he continued to do that until he passed away. So about a weekly basis, he was checking in on Steve. This is what we do for our people. Okay. So those of you guys that are thinking about coming into one of our classes, this is what you're going to get from us. You're going to get a commitment from us. If you're going to commit to this, we're going to commit to you. And I'm committed to every one of my students. And I got a bunch of them, a whole bunch of them. And my phone blows up all day long with my students calling me up like I haven't talked to anybody else in months. And do you remember what I was talking about last July when we said blah, 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 blah? And I'm like, sort of. But this is the game. This is the balance that we do here. So, welcome to the call, everybody. We're going to get started in about 4 minutes, everybody. And I just want to welcome everybody to the call. My name is Tim Damron. I'm with the House of Yah Community Outreach. And tonight, sorry, I can't get this music right tonight. But anyway, tonight we're going to be talking about, you know what? Let's go ahead and fire this. I'm going to start over. All right. Welcome to the call, everybody. Welcome. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a really cool topic. And a lot of you guys are going through this right now. You're waking up. We're going to be talking about what to do in 2025. I'm going to tell you what we do here at the House of Yah, what we have been doing. And praise be to Yahweh, man. We're going to continue to do it. And nothing's going to change. And nothing's going to stop. We're going into our 10th year. 10th year. We're going into 10 years, man. I cannot believe 2015 is when I woke up. Yeah. That's this August. I woke up 10 years ago. And after that, Yahweh lit a fire under my butt completely. You can see I have guitars and stuff in the background here. Well, yeah, I was a touring musician and I was playing with my band and I was a landscaping contractor. I never thought I would be doing anything like this ever. I thought I'd be I don't know what I was thinking. Who knows? But you know what? Here we are today. And tonight we're going to be talking about what to do when you wake up. What to do when you figure out that all these checks and balances that they told us were in place, they're really not in place. We're going to talk about some of those tonight. We're going to talk about some of those things that just don't add up. Now, Natasha should be on the call here in just a little bit. And she always has she has a disclaimer and she has a purpose. She really does. She's my friend and she's just a wonderful student. Let me stop this real quick. She's my friend and just a wonderful student, but she's also an example of what and how this process can work for you. There's a lot of people that are looking, for freedom. Okay. And I'm going to tell you, there's a difference between looking for freedom and looking for a way out of something. There's a big difference. And some people don't know that difference. Some people really struggle with that. And this is confusion. And there's a lot of confusion out there. My goodness. When David Straight was up and around, there was a lot of confusion out there. There was a lot of confusion and still is. He planted a lot of seeds and a lot of confusing seeds and still people to this day are very confused. Anyway, welcome to the call, everybody. We're live. That's right. Yeah, I just hit the button. We just hit the button and we just started it anyway, because that's just what we do here. Right. And that was just another button. And I told Natasha that I'd be pushing buttons. So we're just going to push buttons until she gets here. No, I'm kidding. We're not going to do that to her. We'll maybe throw something nice up there to her. But welcome to the call, everybody. I'm glad everybody's here. Again, getting back to the topic tonight. And Natasha has no idea that this is what we're talking about. So sometimes if you guys catch her on the show and, hey, man, how are you, Blakely? Or I think that's who you are. Blakey? Blakey? I probably messed that up. I'm sorry. 2016. That's what you got on the end there. Welcome, man. Welcome to the call. Thank you for joining us. And you know what? If you guys don't mind, please like and share. Okay. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a really, really interesting topic. There's a time in every person's life, okay, when you wake up and you figure out things. Okay. And for some of us, that started like when we were teenagers. And then all of a sudden, we stopped trusting people. And then we went on this path of we just decided to raise ourselves. And we were kind of set up that way because that's what Gen X kids were set up to do. Yeah. We didn't even know what keychains were until we were like 16. I thought keys went around people's necks. Really? Remember? You'd be like this at your locker doing this. Oh. She's here. And I told her I was going to push the buttons. She was just going to do it. Welcome to the call. Welcome to the call. And you know what? And I had no time to brief you on any of this, but tonight, this August, I'm sorry, this past August, we crossed 10 years. 10 years.
Wow.
10 years. I woke up in 2015, 10 years. So this year in 2026, this is going to be 10 years. We're going into 10 years with being on the air, doing what we do, showering up, you know what I mean? And making it all make sense. Tonight, we're going to be talking about what to do when you wake up. 2025. What's changed? We're going to talk about those changes tonight. And before we get started, Natasha, I'm so glad you're here, and it's so good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure to have you. But
thank you. But
I'm going to hand it all over to you. So listen
thank
up,
you.
everybody.
Thank you for everyone for joining us. Today is November the 3rd already, 2025. Before we start, I'd like to just let everybody know that this is a entertainment purposes only. We're not here to provide any legal help. We do not promote drugs, alcohol. But what we're here is creating a respectful, inclusive place to where we don't want to hurt or offend anybody's feelings. And in the same token, we ask that you be kind and thoughtful with your interactions. If you have any questions, please put them down below and we'll try our best to be able to answer them. So, and I thank y'all again for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Natasha. And you're just amazing. Sean is also here. He's also here on the call as well. He's also one of my students too. So I'm always glad to have him. He always has great feedback. And whatever feedback he doesn't have, he has a face that goes with it. If you guys remember George Carlin back in the day, like some of y'all don't even know who that is. But anyway, if you remember George Carlin, just Google it. Okay. It's like 70s. He had really long hippie hair once upon a time. And he used to make these really whacked out faces. I think Sean saw some of those movies. I do, because like some of the stuff, like I actually went back and I looked at some of the old videos. I did, and I looked at some of the old videos because I'm retagging some of them and stuff like that. And I went back and I was retagging. I mean, it was just rolling out of my chair watching the looks. Anyways, welcome to the call. Glad you're here. So tonight we're going to be talking about what to do when you wake up in 2025. A lot of things are changing. There's a lot of stuff changing. The tax game is changing. And the big thing is the money game is changing. Have you guys seen what silver is right now? Like $50 an ounce. Gold, $4,000 an ounce. And do you remember, and I'm going to tell you guys, when I started telling people about this, and to buy, not say goodbye, but buy, purchase, you guys would be killing it right now. You would. And even if it got stolen, those of you guys that are in my class would know what the remedy is for that. And mine did. It got embezzled. And look, I'm smiling about it. I know. It's because it's all recoverable. And the beautiful thing is, it's recoverable at today's tax rate. And so guess what went up? Everything went up. It's beautiful. And if you understand how the seesaw game works, you're ahead of the game already. Some of you guys are seeing that. You know, Natasha, did you see that video that I sent you about that guy and he advanced like 10 grand on this car? Did you see how he did that?
Awesome.
Let's talk about that.
That was smart.
Let's talk about that. Do you remember how he did it exactly? Sort of.
I remember that he was going to get $10,000 and put it towards the vehicle, but instead he wanted the cash back. That way he could put it in an investment, and that investment would actually help pay the car off in a year or two or a year and a half or something like that.
Right. Well, because it was a 0% loan. So it was based on a 0% loan. So he took the $10,000 rebate, or he took whatever he did. You could do it lots of different ways. You could, if it had a rebate and you wanted to advance it 10 grand, you could. And that's really easy to do nowadays. I'm just going to tell y'all. And this is a very smart way to do banking. Because you're doing your banking through your equity. You're doing your banking through your performance. That's what he was really capturing there. And what he was doing is he was taking the 10 grand and putting it in a CD, putting it in something else that was paying 4.5% or something like that. I think that's what he said. And then that's going to pay 4.5% over 5 years. He could pull that back out, trade the car back in, and take and close that thing out with all the interest that's accrued over, roll that back in, and never make a payment on his car and trade it back in next year by doing 90 days with no payments and setting that little 10 grand split up. Some of y'all didn't get that. You might need to rewind it. Okay. And look, this is why we do these classes, so you can understand where you are in your equity. If you understand where all the players are and what you're doing, you're going to win. And this is the problem that we have in America, is that we don't understand what we're doing. Oh my goodness. Hold on just a minute. Let's see. There we go. All right. See, now we don't have to worry about that guy anymore. So yeah, if you guys, I had somebody that was just leaving inappropriate comments over there and just being stupid. But anyway, let's get back to what we were talking about. So tonight we're going to be talking about how to master both sides, because what happens is that we lose because we don't understand. We lose because nobody taught us. And then you've got these people that say they know, but they're not doing anything. Everybody on this panel knows and is doing it. If you guys have questions about how to do this, how to understand this process, and what process am I talking about? I'm talking about the process that a lot of people are talking about, and they're talking. And I started the call this way. There's the people that are looking for freedom, and then there's the people that confuse freedom with I can be irresponsible, or I don't have to do that, or I don't have to take accountability for my actions, so I can just do this. I don't have to pay my bills. I can just do this. When you know there's a performance that you have to do every month, but we don't have any money. You're right. It's not about the money. It's about your performance. We have a country and we have a money system that operates on performance and equity. This is what they didn't teach us in school. This is what some of you guys are waking up to. Okay, some of you guys still don't know what I'm talking about. Go into your bank. You see the sign in there? It says that every deposit is guaranteed for up to $250,000. Ooh. Makes you feel like a valued customer, doesn't it? Every deposit, $250,000. And 30 years ago, okay, let's say that. 30 years ago, that like meant something, because 250,000 was more money than most people have. You can buy a Hummer and spend almost that much now. And it's normal. I see them driving around out here in Cedar Park like all the time. These $200,000 whatever things driving around. So I mean, I guess they're doing it. But how are they doing it? I mean, how did all these people come up with ridiculous amounts of money to buy all these Teslas? If you've ever been up here in Cedar Park is like every 5 cars you see is going to be a Tesla. It looks like that Obama movie where all the Teslas died and they all burned up in the field. Do you remember that, Natasha? Remember that movie? Yeah.
You would. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one. That's what it looks like out here, except they're not burning up in a field. But there's so many of them. And then you'll see like a whole bunch of white ones that'll be rolling together. It looks like stormtroopers going to go get a Slotsky's or something. They're just going to take it over with the dark side. You know what I mean? And you'll see somebody in a little white Corolla. They're following behind them. You know what I mean? They're heading there too. You know, they must have got a free lunch coupon or something. I don't know. But I mean, and that's, so how did all this happen? How did people make disposable income? Because when we first had these big price increases on vehicles, banks weren't loaning that kind of money. Banks, as a matter of fact, weren't loaning much money at all back then because there was a big shift in the market. This is when the chips weren't available. You remember that? And used cars got really expensive and new cars got weird. And it did really weird stuff for banking at the time. And my point is, I guess I got on a tangent there. I didn't mean to do that. But my point is that the banking game has changed, but your collateral and your cars have not changed. Okay. Last night we had Bible study, and one of the things that I really rebuked just openly, and I mean everybody, our pastors, all of them, because they lied to us. Natasha, they lied to us. They told us things that just weren't true, period. And they said that religion and state has to be separate. No, it was not. Astronomy is a religion. It's not. That has to do with tarot cards and all that stuff. That's where it starts. And, you know, what do you do when you start figuring out all this stuff? Natasha, where were you in life when you started figuring out that I know you were looking stuff up, but I mean, what in your personal life triggered you that said, hey, this and this connect? I need to look into this. What was it for you?
Well, really, you actually made most of it connect because there was so much misinformation out there. Really and truly, we started with this person, that person, and nobody ever had like the answer I needed. You know, do we need to be a state national? Why? You know, can you get into your Sesta B account? No, you can't. You know, and everybody was like, "Oh, well, we're doing it." Especially, you know, Kenny Rogers. Yeah.
She said Kenny Rogers. I love it. I love it.
But you know, and
I love it.
But it was that. But whenever you started putting equity and you started explaining everything, and because you have done the process, is where it really started to connect to me. Because you would say, well, no, you do this with your performance, and this is equity, and this is how you do it. You know, because you had a lot of people that were saying, oh, you don't have to pay your bills because they're coupons. Well, how many, electric bills and water bills got cut off because you didn't pay them? You know, and oh, well, you could do this process and.
That happened to me.
So it was.
I jumped in that rabbit hole. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and it was just, a lot of, like I said, misinformation. And I mean, at first, when you hear about the Sesta VQ account, you're like, oh, so I have all this money. Well, how come I can't use it? And then, it's kind of the same thing with My Trust Now. I mean, I might have money in it, but if you're not a beneficiary to it, you can't use it.
And it's the same thing. So it's all about controlling it.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's whenever, and whenever I started waking up, it was just kind of weird because you would hear this and you're like, well, yeah, you stop and think about it because, in school, they never taught us anything. We were taught to raise our hand, have to ask permission to go to the restroom. You have to ask permission for this and that, and And if you really don't, if something really doesn't make sense and you question it, they're like,
Sorry.
no, shut up. You can't ask that,
Exactly. Well, and how many times did you hear in school that, that question's just out of line?
Yeah.
And I mean, and who made you in charge of what was out of line? You know what I mean? I mean, this was an effort to stifle people's ability to think for themselves. And this is what indoctrination does. And this is why we're so ignorant, because we don't know.
Yeah. Well, and then like the other things that you teach is like with the applications, because you're begging, and stuff like that. And I'm like, like all the little light bulbs just kind of start going off, from, and I think some of the big things were like what travel on drive, unfortunately, I mean, I would love not to have to pay insurance and registration and all that, but I know I need it. And
it's about you performing though. When you start pushing the paper around, it's not, you're not paying stuff anymore. Now you're just performing.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you pay something out of a petty cash drawer. I mean, who cries about that? Oh, well, we'll just have to get it out of petty cash. And what do? You go get it out of petty cash. And then how do you remedy it? You put a receipt in there. Done. And nobody cares. What if it was too much? Doesn't matter. There's a receipt in there. What if you could have bought 4 more somewhere? It doesn't matter. There's a receipt in there. Do you see how that changes everything? Because it's just an accounting move. What are your thoughts on that, Sean?
It was a lot to learn at first. It's a change of mindset instead of just learning. You got to think differently.
Yeah. And I mean, and should we be like full of ourselves and say, oh, well, now since I think differently, I'm better or smarter? I think that takes you the wrong direction completely. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah, I found that I actually go more private and I get more quiet. I really do. Mm-hmm. And, because my job that I work, I see people, doing their debit cards or writing checks. And I want to ask them so bad, how are you getting that money back? What are you doing? And I just want to tell them, but then I'm private about it, so they might not be awake yet. So everybody has their own time for that.
Well, and there's just, and I mean, and really honestly, there's a real danger for you too, is that, and you encounter this all the time since you're building your house, is that there's some men that don't like to be corrected by anybody female. I mean, that's kind of in our culture. Okay. And if you're in the South, and I grew up in the South, and I mean, it's the South, it is what it is. And so, I mean, you kind of face that too. So I guess, that's the other trigger too. And here's the real trigger though. 1 Thessalonians 4:11. That's right. And the Bible told me so. Make it your own ambition. Lead a quiet life. Attend to your own business and work with the hands that Yahweh has given you. That's exactly what that verse says. It works, does it not, you guys?
Yeah, it really does. Because I found that I just want to take care of my family and make sure that they're taken care of, and that I'm making sure that the money that I do spend, I can get it back for them. I can discharge. And then, if they need vehicles or clothes or money or can't pay their rent or whatever the case may be, that they're taken care of. And that was always my main goal, and then the other thing is, whenever I pass away, the house, the vehicles, the everything, they don't have to go into probate. No gritty lawyer is going to get their hands on it. And it just goes right to them. They already know how to work the trust. They already know how to do everything. And that was pretty much my life goal, as far as taking care of them and stuff.
Well, and you have a lot on your plate to deal with too. And we don't need to go into why, but I'm just saying that you're able to juggle all of those things at one time, and it's quite miraculous actually. But she's able to do it because she's mastered the walk, not taken the master class. There's too many people out there. If you Google master class, I think that's like, it's the new sovereign citizen cliche now. Everything's a master class now. And I'm like, and the problem is that nobody has actually mastered that class. They're just theories. And, so for 2026, we have a new pricing schedule, and I want to go over this with you guys. This isn't even on the website yet. I didn't mean to do that. This isn't even on the website yet, which I'll update it tomorrow. So we're going to I have periodic classes from week to week. And these classes, like I have a class coming up this Wednesday, and it's a private class. Now, we can let other people in the class, but we'll be using his curriculum. In other words, he's in a particular state. And so the documents that we're going to be going through are relative to his state. Now, your documents that you would get would be relevant for your state too, but I can't go through two sets of documents at one time. So you would just be joining in class. For people that join the class, those classes are $475, and that's our regular going rate. Those of you that would like a personal one-on-one class with me, those are $750 per class. So those are $750 per class, and then if somebody else wants to join in, they can, and that's it. But I don't allow more than 3 students in a class. That's it. No more than that. And it's helpful. It gives you a good perspective, and I think it's a good way to do it. Now, something else that we're doing this year that we've never done before is preparation. If you guys need your trusts done, prepared, and drafted for your state, that means write down, even you guys getting your, the commercial security agreements and all that stuff. We would draft these, and I would send these to you and they would be built for your state. In other words, instead of seeing all the UCC codes that you normally see in our paperwork, which there's some in there, you're going to see the ones that coincide with your state rules. So like in Texas, they don't say Uniform Commercial Code. What they say is Texas Business Commerce Code. And in New Mexico, it's the NMSA code, and various other, they all have every states have different deals for it. But what it does is it takes your filings, simplifies them, and it creates a local ground floor for you to operate from. And I believe that's the proper way to do this thing properly. I really went through my AI and started really tweaking our paperwork. Christine was here today, as a matter of fact, and we did her trust, and actually knocked it out this afternoon. And when I went in there and did that, I actually went in and took all the Uniform Commercial Code stuff relative to transmitting utilities and all that stuff that's in our commercial security agreement. Those of you guys that take the class, and now it's all supported with the proper laws that are supported in your state or in your county or both. And so everything is more tailored to that. Those of you guys that take the trust class, I have people that have taken my trust class, and they're from Arizona. We have wonderful AI software that can take it, and we can redraft it for your state. It's part of the class. It's what we do for you. And then we're going to go from that platform specifically. This is why I like to keep the classes small. So if you want to join the class that's already there, it's $750. This will include your documents for your state and your area. Okay. You're not going to see their documents. You'll get documents. They'll get documents. And you'll get that. You'll also get a recording of the class. And if you need any time with me, you just schedule it. That costs you nothing. So, and I'm here from here until you're finished and you don't need me anymore. So what was that? Anyway, that's kind of how that works. And then those of you guys that are supporters of what we're doing, and maybe you want to sit in the class, you want to join a class, and you're a previous student like Sean. Sean does this from time to time. He'll come and retake a class. Like when his lawsuit hit, I know that he came and took the debt and foreclosure class again, just to get everything sharpened back up again. But he didn't need the materials, and he really didn't need the recording of the class, but he did need the one-on-one the asking questions and that with me, and it really benefited the other students in the class. Those of you guys that come back and want to do that, those are $175. Very inexpensive to do that, and it helps us a lot. It helps us do what we need to do. Like I was saying earlier, Natasha, before you came on, we had a student that just got out of prison. Yeah, I've been ministering to this guy for the last 8 years. No kidding. And Jason has been just a wonderful prayer partner. He's been a great dude, and he's really done a lot of growing. And he was on that path before he got locked up, but he violated his probation or his parole, whatever it is. He didn't check in with his people like he was supposed to. This guy got on a bicycle from Austin, Texas, and rode it almost entirely all the way to Albuquerque, New Mexico to meet me. No kidding. And met another student of mine, and he's and I don't want to say his name, but his dad used to be the Marlboro Man. We'll just say that, actually. So anyway, he's a student of mine. And those two met at a truck stop or somewhere between here and there. And Yahweh hooked them up. They helped each other out, and they drove the rest of the way in together. And, he was really on his way to get stuff done. He just left some things untied. And now he went and he finished and he paid his debt. And now he's out. Well, we have people everywhere. I've had students that have passed away, and they were in Washington State, and we had other students that went down there to go help them. That student that I was talking about that's in Albuquerque, he paroled, and he's in Albuquerque. He last Friday, during class, we were trying to get him some clothes so he could go to his first Shabbat service, since he's been out in 8 years. And so it was really important to me that we get that done. And I just really prayed about it. And, Juan, our vice president in Albuquerque, made it happen. Give me the address, give me a shoe size. He called me in the middle of class, man. I about lost it in the middle of class when he did it too. It was so beautiful. And Len, this is what we do. This is why we do what we do. We help you, and we want to help the community, but we want to build a community like what Natasha's talking about. We want to build a community of accountable people that are specialized at what they do, that know what they're doing, and that will learn this process and grow from it and adapt what they're doing to it. Now, I have a class coming up Wednesday and Thursday. It's going to be in the morning. It's got like 10 to 2. We got 2 days coming up, and this week actually. And we're going to be setting up the ground floor of everything. And the first thing that I think that people need to understand is that we can't own anything. I think that's the biggest flaw. Once you get through all this and you figure all this stuff out, I think the most disappointing and I think the biggest illusion of all of this is that you really figure out that you don't own anything, right, Natasha?
You don't.
Right, Sean?
Yeah. I actually get more tickled whenever I have like my truck that I get to pass to my children or the house or something like that. It makes you feel really good. I mean, you can't take it with you, and you sat here and worked for it. So why not let them enjoy it as well?
Absolutely.
And that's just like with my daughter. She's like, hey, I want to go on a trip, but my car's too small. Can I borrow the truck? Which they can carry all of them. I was like, it's yours too. I said, just take it. She's like, oh, okay.
And that's the way it's supposed to be. Uh-oh.
I'm sorry.
I said, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And thank you so much for letting her joining us tonight. We really appreciate that. I think the world of I really do. I think the world of your husband. I think he's a great dude. That's what's
he's trying to feed me.
Well,
I mean, hey.
He knows when your gas tank's running low. He knows when you're burning your candle at both ends. And thanks for being here. I appreciate it. And you could snack a little, just make sure you don't have any spinach in your teeth, and we'll be fine. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, But no, really, one of the things we're going to really go over is and I think is that you understand that you don't own stuff. You know, you really don't. And I think that's one of the biggest flaws in this wake up in the freedom movement, whatever you want to call it. People waking up is what I call it. Okay, but some people call it the freedom movement. Some people call it the sovereign citizen movement. And I think people can go that direction. Okay, but once you do go that direction, if you're a person of integrity, if you're a person that can self-examine, you're going to see very quickly that's bad. There's a lot of red flags over there. And more importantly, just like what we talked about last week, it's not public. I mean, it's not private. I mean, we saw the American state national people, Kenny's people, you know, he thinks he's Gene Simmons with the freedom movement over there. I'm serious. Have you seen all the stuff that they have? I mean, they got hats, underwear. I think they got everything but bail bonds. I think they got but I mean, no, but I'm serious. It's like they're so commercialized to say that you're private after all that, you know, logoing and everything else going on. It brings attention to you. And that's a counter in the freedom movement. The whole point is to be private. The whole point is so nobody sees you. Not so you're walking around with this big old hat on, with this big old trucker patch that says sovereign citizen. I'm on a watch list. Because that's exactly where it got him. It got him on a watch list. And that's never going to go away. Go ahead. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that's never going to go away. You know, that's going to stay with you forever. And what I want to teach you guys how to do is how to handle this stuff. Welcome to the call, man. Thank you for joining us. What we want to do this Wednesday and Thursday is that this class, if you guys want to get in this class, let me know. Call my office, 210-605-0144. That's 210-605-0144. Call my office tomorrow after 10 a.m. Central Time, and see if I can get you guys into the class. Oh, wait a minute. Tomorrow's Wednesday, isn't it? Oh, no, wait. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Yeah, you're good. You could call in. You could sign in tomorrow. I only have 2 seats available. So, I mean, if you come in, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But, I mean, this class is an amazing class because it's going to show you how to get organized. I'm going to show you where all the pitfalls really are. Okay. I'm going to show you where you can flip the handlebars around backwards and you can go up and down these streets. Okay. Don't look at the situation like it's unfair. I'm going to show you how to look at these things like an opportunist. And when you start looking at things that way, what did these two guys say? They said mindset. Your mindset's going to change. And when you start looking at these things, like how's that going to benefit my beneficiaries? That's a change in mindset because you're not thinking about selfish you anymore. Huh? And the more we think about other people and the more that we put other people first, paying it forward, there's a blessing waiting for you for that. If you want to know the key and the secret of success, paying it forward is how it's done. And I've been teaching this, like I said, I've been going into 10 years of this. And I've been teaching my friends how to make tons of money for the last 10 years and how to manage their money. Some of them have a lot of it. And, you know, if I ever needed anything, my friends are there. And that is insulating yourself properly. Okay. I don't want to have a whole bunch of money. You know why? Because somebody will take it. They will. Somebody will rob me. Somebody will steal it from me. Somebody will set it on fire. Something's going to happen to it. And everything that is tangible in this world, we should be looking at it that way. But that's a Bible study moment. Tonight, I'm going to be talking to you guys how to get ready. Some of you guys are in your 40s, your 50s. You're not going to live forever, man. And you can't take it with you. Do you really want your kids destroying themselves over your waterbed or your baseball collection or whatever that dumb stuff is? I mean, because that's what it is, because you can't take it with you. It's sentimental. It's important. Your hot rod, whatever. This is about making a plan. And when you set up this estate and you set up this plan properly, here's where everybody's, and I'm going to tell you, everybody in this freedom movement, this is where they're missing it completely. Here's the common denominator. You ready? And tell me y'all if this isn't true. The common denominator that I see out there is that it's pretty much kill the straw man, hide the straw man, don't do anything with the straw man. And the living man now is owning the car because he has the MSO, right? You've heard the David Strait people say that. And then now, since you don't have a driver's license, well, now I just own me and I'm just here and this and that. And here's what we're not thinking about. When some illegal alien comes to this country and they have that same kind of equipment in their package, like what they're talking about, they get snatched up and they're gone. And President Trump has made it very, very clear that he will buy them tickets to leave if they'll just leave. Anybody that's here illegally, he said, if you want to leave, you can get a ticket, you can leave. And if you don't, we're going to make you leave. He said that. So all these people that are taking their citizenship, taking the straw man and throwing him in the trash, I say, woe to you. And may Adonai rebuke you. Really. Here's why. You're taking your entire family's infrastructure, everything that's been passed on to you, because all of you guys are connected. Your aunts, your uncles, and all that. Why do you think you have Ancestry.com? So they can keep track of us. You thought that was just to look up your family members to figure out where you came from? Natasha, they did this in World War II when they got this is how they figured out where all the Jews were. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. So y'all just keep playing away over there at Ancestry.com, and the CIA is going to be looking at everything that y'all do. Hey, I'm telling the truth, guys. Y'all can't get mad at me for that. And that's what we're all about. I'm going to tell you, there's two kinds of people in this movement. They're the people that are looking for the truth, and then there's people looking to get away with something. We're the people looking for the truth. And if you're interested in learning how to do this stuff properly, you have to start with the right vehicle. You have to understand that there's a commercial game going on out there, and that your social security number really isn't equipped to run a business, a Walmart, or anything like that, much less even a trust. So I'm going to show you the vehicle. I'm going to show you how to build this vehicle, and we're going to build it together. And I'm going to show you how to put it in to work for you, for your beneficiaries, so that you can maximize your labor, maximize your tax aptitude, and get the maximum refund you deserve to get. You know, I think we deserve that, don't you, Natasha? I think we deserve that. Right, Sean?
I do.
I mean, you did all the work, didn't you?
I did.
You guys did all the work, right, Sean? Sean, you just paid off your house. You did all the work. I didn't come over there and help you pay it off. Nope. You didn't go knock on your neighbor's door going, hey, man, can you help me pay off my house over here? I'm having kind of a day. He was like, get out of here, dude. Here's that rake I borrowed last winter. You can just have that back. Go away. No, seriously. So, but we have to start somewhere. You have to have the right vehicle. And that metaphor works everywhere. If you have the right vehicle, you can go anywhere except space, because there is no space. They think there is, but there isn't. It's really not. It's a big faux pas. But if you have the right vehicle, you really can. Okay. But in this movement, I think there's a lot of people that try to skitch by with the bare minimum, and they don't really want to understand the process. My process, I'm going to teach you both sides. I'm going to teach you how to operate honestly and truthfully and in honor. And then if these guys do you wrong, and there's plenty of lenders out there that will. If they do you wrong, I'll show you how to take care of them. I'll show you how to do what you need to do to make sure that your fiduciary duty is in place so that you can exercise the proper control See, we don't own anything, but we have the ability to control things in this country. It's true. I mean, we've got lifetime leases. There's such a thing. You know? And when you guys look at your deed of trust on your house, take a look at it. It doesn't say homeowner. It says tenant. It does for a lot of you guys. And I might be wrong, or maybe another state, maybe one of the 50 states that I'm probably wrong in. But generally speaking, it's true. I know Natasha's going to go look it up. She's going to file a lawsuit. I'm going to be on ChatGPT tonight. We're filing a lawsuit with these people. They called me a tenant, and we're suing the realtor too. He said I'd be a homeowner. Liar, liar, pants on fire. I know. They did. They lied to us. And you remember I told you about that sign in the bank about the $250,000 they guarantee for every deposit, $250,000. Well, how did they loan Natasha $400 for a house then? What did they do? Do an unguaranteed deposit? Because that sounds official. What did they do? They watched you run around and they bet on you. I'm going to show you how that process works. I'm going to show you how they do this. Not so you can sit in the corner and get upset about it. No. This is an opportunity. This is for you to take your skill set and throw it into this game. I got a lady that learned this process, one of my students, about 9 years ago. And she was a retired real estate, and I tell this story about her in my class, but I'll tell you guys. She was a retired mortgage. She had a mortgage company, so she was a lender, and I don't know, something. But I mean, very well to do, and had been doing it for a long time. Well, she came to my class. She learned how to separate the straw man and how to, close him off so that he's yours and yours only. And then we'd learned about 501c3s, 508c3s. How do they work? How do they go into place? These are things you're going to learn in my class. And I actually have a 501c3. So I'm not just sitting over here from the sidelines going, well, I think it's this and you ought to listen to me. No, I'm going to tell you exactly what it feels like. So there'll be it's all firsthand. There's no guessing here. So anyway, but what I'm saying is that people in this market are really, I think they're holding out for a pot of gold that's just not there. You know, getting into the SESA-QV trust is not going over there and cracking the piggy bank. It's understanding where it is, understanding who you are in this process. And if you're smart, you're going to watch it and you're going to see how it works. And then when you see how it works, then we take our little trust over here and we just manage it the same way. And why do we pay taxes? This is another one that's out there too. I was reading through some of the hashtags that are out there for some of these gurus. I had my AI go in and go scrape all their stuff and go figure out what they're doing. And one of them was, what was it? It was a hitman. Oh, one of them was a hashtag. It was like a hitman class. I was like, are you serious? That was Brandon Joe Williams. I was like, what a cuckoo bird. Anyway, but they'll have one of them was tax free. So you don't have to pay any taxes. Well, wouldn't that be easy? But hold on, Sean. Why are we paying taxes in the first place? Why? Oh,
it was to World War II.
It's what? The what? Help him. He's sinking. Natasha, help him. He's sinking fast.
Because we're not discharging our debt.
Well, because we can't discharge our debt. And every time you get a car loan, every time you hear the word discharge, what's happening? Somebody's running to the treasury. Most people don't know that. Let's just think about that for just a minute. Sean, where's one of the places you hear discharge at?
Sometimes the hospital or maybe a court.
And you're talking about two completely different ends of the pendulum here. I mean, a hospital and a court. Wow. Okay. Where else, Natasha? Where else do you hear that at? Or do you know?
Oh,
Oh, I put her on the spot. She cleared her board. She's like, oh, never mind. He's not going to ask me that question. We're good. I'm ready for the next one.
yeah, no, Sean hit on, the hospital, and you always hear that discharging from the hospital.
How about bankruptcy court? Well, we did say court too. We did say court, right?
Yeah.
But okay, so bankruptcy court, probation court. And our the student just got out. He's on parole, and guess what he has to do? He has to discharge his parole. So, from parole to the hospital to bankruptcy court to the post office. The post office too? Yes. It's all discharged there. So here's what happens. The reason that we pay taxes is because they see all this traffic that's going to the treasury on your behalf. And every time you hear the word discharge, you guys, this is real stuff. Every time you hear the word discharge, somebody is going and getting paid. No, really getting paid. Silver and gold? They're getting bank credits. They're not getting little $5 and $1 bills over there. No. That's not even real. Those are just coupons. Okay? Step back a minute. Let's look at the big picture. Some of y'all, if your head's hurting, flip. This call is not for you. And it's not for everybody. Not everybody's ready to understand all this stuff. Okay? Because it hurts a little. It does. Because you feel betrayed. You do. You know everybody lied to you. And they did. Oh, did they do it good too? Oh, man, did they lie to us? From first grade all the way up. All the way out to the 12th grade. Go ahead.
I had heart surgery, and it was a couple of years ago, but it was $86,000. And, before they released me, said, I got to do the paperwork and discharge you. So somebody got paid $86,000.
And try to run out of the hospital. Oh, they got paid more than that. Try to run out of the hospital without them discharging you. People will lose their code red. Code red. We've got one leaving the hospital right now. Get him. Call security. Trip that fool right now. Let's get him back down in the ER right now. Get the boomerangs out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really, they will lose their stuff if you try to break protocol, or if you don't let them put you in a wheelchair and roll you out. Don't you dare try to walk out under your own power. No, absolutely not. But I just came in for a hangnail. We don't care. You're being discharged. I'm going to explain all this in my class. I'm going to show you why all these things are happening. Why? So you can get upset? No. So you can get prepared. Things are going to get more expensive. Okay? Things are going to get really expensive if they're not already. 5 bags of groceries, like little nothing bags of groceries at Walmart is like $100 now. Especially here where I live. It's high. It's so high. I was going to make a joke, but never mind. It's just high. It's that high, really. It's
so Tim, like that I supposedly I owed the hospital $86,000, but the insurance paid. Plus they got discharged, I guess, through the treasury. So are they like triple dipping? And then they try to get you to pay some of the costs. So
he's catching on. He's catching on, you guys. He's catching. I have a button for that. Dang, I got to start using these buttons. Anyway, no, but he's catching on. You're absolutely right. Because the big game is this, okay? We see one transaction in the things that we do. Meanwhile, there's a bunch of transactions going on. And we're paying so much in taxes, you guys, because to discharge all this debt. You guys know who Red Fox is, right? Natasha, you remember who Red Fox is? Remember who Red Fox is? Sanford and Son?
Yeah, it's Sanford and Son.
I know some of the 80s, you got some of these other, they don't know who the heck that is. Anyway, so this guy was a very famous comic, For some of you young people that don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, and you should look him up because he's pretty funny. Yes, he uses the N word, but it's in character. Anyway, and it is for the culture. It was fine, and nobody was offended back then. Nobody cared. But anyway, really, really funny show. Guy was really successful. He did some great movies. He was a phenomenal comic. He had a great career. The guy worked. Okay. Now, one of the things you're going to learn in my class is about contracts. See, they create money based on contracts. Have you ever thought about, think about this next Monday Night Football. Think about, just get you a calculator and start Googling all those numbers down there and start adding up how much all those yo-yos are getting paid to chase that bag of hot air up and down a fake football field, okay? And run over each other. Just think about, just add that up. Go Google it up and look it up. And then while you're sitting in the stands with your popcorn and $20 hot dog, you need to look, and they're $10 parking. Then you need to look around and figure out what you paid and look about how many people are here. And what you're going to figure out is that there's not enough t-shirts. There's not enough mugs. There's not enough hot dogs, beer, DWIs, nothing to pay for all of those salaries that are down there. It doesn't add up. Did you know that? Natasha? That's funny, huh?
That is. That's a different way to look at it.
Uh-huh. That's why they put them in those tight pants. So nobody thinks about that stuff. And that's why you're always questioning their sexuality. Always. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to go off on the side here on this, but just for a second. But I always question their sexuality. I really do. Because, I mean, look at the contact. I mean, just imagine if somebody had a big lunch and you just 22 hut. I mean, just think about how bad that could go. I bet it happens. I bet it happens on the cool. Just saying. I bet it happens. He's bent over, for Christ's sakes. I mean, and let's take this to the next level too. Let's look at the names of the teams. The Rams. Hello. Huh? The Raiders. Come on now. And the Cowboys sound like a bunch of gay strippers. Mm-hmm. It's the Cowboys. And here they come. You know what I mean? The 49ers. That just doesn't sound right. And I mean, in the Packers. Come on. I mean, all of these names, the Browns. I was just talking about that. The Browns. I mean, all these teams have names like this. And what is everybody doing? Sitting around drinking estrogen, growing man boobs, shouting at men in tight pants. We need to check ourselves. We need to check ourselves on Monday night, guys. I'm serious. There's something taking over here. And y'all might need to pay attention. I know some of y'all are going to get mad. Oh, man, he's just hating on football. You know, if you just crack a history book from time to time and look at what the Romans were doing with the Colosseums, and they had much better stuff to watch than football. They were like people getting beheaded out there, and they were dying, and they had all kinds of stuff. I mean, and it was constant of just like you could just show up any time of day and somebody was getting whacked over there. It was a constant circus they had going on over there. Really. And guess what these football games are? The same thing. And they don't make any sense. The accounting doesn't make sense. Here's another thing where the accounting doesn't make sense. And I'm making some points tonight. We're going to go over a little bit tonight. But here's some other things that don't make sense. Why would somebody loan money on a car? Why? It loses money every single month. I mean, seriously, Natasha, would you loan me money on, if I said, hey, I'm going to go make an $80,000 investment. Would you loan me $80,000? But I got to tell you about this investment. It's going to lose about 20 to 30% every month. You would look at me like I need to go check myself into a meeting, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because Yeah, the first thing I want to know is how much money you gonna make on top of my 80,000, and what's my percentage?
That kind of reminds me of the parable about the talents and the rich man. He gave him the talent, and what did he do? He went and bought a stupid car. Look, there you go. And here we are. You're thinking that too. But how many people, I was just telling people earlier tonight about what here in Cedar Park is. People, woo, man, I got to tell you, man, what I love about being out here is that you can get out on the road. And if it's ever been a car that you've seen on one of your friends' room somewhere, like up on the big poster somewhere, or at Spencer's, at Spencer's, when you go to Spencer's and they got all those cool Lamborghini pictures and all that stuff with the hot girls on them and stuff like that. So imagine no hot girls, but people going by. That's exactly what you got going on here. And you see them all day long. Goldwing, Mercedes, you see all kinds of stuff here. And what really trips my whistle here is looking at how many car loans these are going around. And they make no sense to have, but it's necessary. Who created that? Who created that? Huh? Think about that, you guys. Somebody created this little system here and made you go out and work, made you make 72, 84, hut, whatever payments. Okay. Seriously, 120. I mean, you can finance a car longer than you can have children now, I think. How long is a child? I mean, you really can. I mean, I've heard of like loans like 96 months and even longer than that. 96 months on a car? What is your car going to be worth in 96 months? How many years is that, Natasha? Help me out.
7, maybe. I don't know.
Your car's, yeah, like 7, 8 years. I mean, your car's almost 10 years old. How much could your car absolutely be worth? I mean, let's talk about my next car. Just kidding. No, let's talk about a Bentley. $325,000 for a nice Bentley convertible. That's what they cost these days. Stupid, right? But if you just wait 4 years, that very same Bentley can be bought for about $125,000, which is still a bunch of money. But think about the guy that paid the $320 for the car. That makes no sense, does it? But how do you get ahead of that? Being in the right position. That's what we're going to be covering in this trust class that I've got coming up. We're going to be running this on Wednesday and Thursday. If you guys want to join the class, it's already, I guess the class is really kind of paid for already. There are 2 seats available. That's it. Just 2 seats. You'll need to call my office tomorrow. Winston Churchill. You'll need to call my office tomorrow. I'll need to do a little bit of an interview with you. I just want to see where you're at. I want to make sure this is a good fit for you. And more importantly, I want to make sure that we're a good fit. This is why I like to do interviews with my students, because I don't want to just be your teacher. I want to help you. Okay. I want to help you understand this stuff. I don't want to just teach you a bunch of stuff, drop you off on the corner and leave you there. We want to be here for the long haul. And we're going into our 10th year of doing this. So nothing's stopping me. As far as the teachers out there in this market, I'm the oldest one out there. Besides Anna Von Wright, I think I'm the oldest one. I think I'm the only one still standing. Wow. There you go. That's for me. And I earned it too. And, and more importantly, I've got the fruits to show. A lot of people are really struggling with waking up in 2025. Things are so expensive right now. And I'm telling you, they've done this on purpose. See, the Bible says, sorry, some of you guys that don't like the Bible stuff, but the truth of the matter is, and I think you can get behind me on this, is that the Bible said that in the end times, there's going to be a vast explosion of knowledge. And that knowledge is here. And the only way to control the knowledge is to make things cost more money. Yeah. we talked about this not that long ago. We talked about cohesive prosecutions, where they make it so expensive. Remember, Natasha? Where they make it so expensive and it's going to ruin your life if you fight this thing. But it's so expensive that they're going to try to price you out of your defense, so you'll just take the plea. And they're selling our children out like this. My daughter got sold out for some Title 4D funding. Because people just wanted to get rich. People wanted to get wealthy. It's been over 200 days. I haven't seen her, haven't talked to her, nothing. And I can't. I wonder who that was on the call. Anyway, sometimes I have little birdies that fly in that want to visit. And if I throw out the right triggers, that usually gets them off the call pretty quickly. So anyway, glad that they were here. Glad that they left. This class is going to be a very powerful class. And what we're going to do is you're going to understand the tax game. What if I told you, if you took this class, you're going to understand the tax game so well, you're going to want to go file your taxes. What? Yeah. Because you're going to learn that the IRS is a clearinghouse for all debt. And the reason that you're paying so much in taxes is because you don't have the proper vehicle to discharge all of these purchases that you're doing. And I'm talking about you guys that are buying, you're going to Verizon and you're getting those phones, and they lease them to you for like a monthly payment, like a car payment. It's ridiculous. Seriously, people are paying like $200-$300 a month for a phone. That's like a car payment. You can't even drive it anywhere. I'll leave it at home. Jeez. Anyway, but it's not about the phone. Natasha, it's not about the phone at all, because what do phones do? They depreciate. You put them in one of those little machines a week later, and it could be $1,000 phone. It's worth $55. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Right? This is how they use us up, man. This is how they use us up. And if you really want to know why those phones are so expensive, it's because the precious metals that are in the phone. Learn about that. There's some good money in that. And if you've got kids that have an understanding of chemicals and a respect for chemicals and things like that, and can operate with some brain power, teach them how to do it. It's a good thing to do. Kids are always going through electronics, and they just end up in the landfill. Those things are loaded with nickel, silver, gold, titanium, platinum, especially iPhones. iPhones have a lot of titanium in them. That's why they're worth so much money. That's why they cost so much money. So good little hustle to get on. Good place to buy those, thrift stores, garage sales. You can go all day long and find that stuff all day long. Anyway, this class, I'm going to show you guys how to maximize your position in your home. Now, if you show up to this class and you have nothing, expect this. You're going to leave my class with a plan on how to manage something, okay? But ultimately, your something has to manifest. So those of you guys that are looking for we'll just sign up right here and we won't have to work anymore. No. That's the David Straight class. That's the Derek Gonzalez class. That's that that's that pickle guy, that Brandon Joe Williams guy that keeps his people keep getting their cars repossessed and stuff like that. Nah, that doesn't happen over here. As a matter of fact, my students are paying off their stuff and we're monetizing those things. We're getting those contracts back. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. That's in another class. But anyway, this week, Wednesday and Thursday, we've definitely got UCC and Trust coming up. Love to have you guys in class. Somebody's blowing me up. I don't know who this is, but we will talk to them in just a minute. I don't know who that is, but we'll figure it out in just a minute. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for being here on the call. You want to close this out, Natasha?
Absolutely. Thank you for a phenomenal night. Yeah, you have me intrigued and got me thinking in other directions as usual. But yeah, I hope everybody else enjoyed the call as much as I did. I thank y'all very much. Y'all have many blessings. Enjoy the rest of your week. And thank you again. Have a good night.
Welcome
All
to
right.
humanity. This is Hour 1.
Thank you guys for being here. We so appreciate you guys. If you guys are interested in getting in this class, call my office tomorrow between 10 and 2 p.m. Central Time, 210-605-0144. Thank you guys for being here. Be blessed and good night.
Call recording off.